You are now tuned into Let's Talk Podcast, where we talk less but do more. Today is Monday. Well, this episode will be posted on Monday. The start of a great, magnificent, very positive, balanced, structured week for us. As mothers, let me tell y'all, my daughter was just out of school for spring break for a whole week. Overstimulated, overwhelmed, I'm just over. I'm over it, okay? So this episode is just gonna be a short, sweet episode just to get us that little pep talk, that little extra motivation we need to get through this week. Because if your child was on spring break last week, I feel for you. It's not easy, especially this episode is not just for single moms, but especially being a single mom, because now that little time they go to school, that's that time we can go to work, we can get things done. So we don't have that time for a whole 5 days. So yeah, yeah, yeah. So this is episode 87. This episode is just 3 ways to overcome being overstimulated and overwhelmed as a mother, period. Not just a single mother, just a mother. Because in the household, women do take more on, I feel like, as far as dealing with the kids. So this is for my ladies. This is for you. Step 1, create micro, meaning small, moments of silence. Let's say you don't have another person in the household to take the baby or take the kid away while you get things done. Just, even if you have to step in the bathroom and count and just breathe. Let's do it now. You just go, you step in the bathroom, you close the door, you just count, and you just breathe. Inhale. Exhale. That right there can recenter your focus and can get you back right. Because for a minute, I think sometimes I'll be going insane. Like, just taking a step back, creating a small little moment of silence, just like a little micro moment of silence. Okay, I'm gonna be quiet for a minute. Just because overstimulation 9 times out of 10 is coming from just loudness or just constant, just stuff moving. It's like, am I in a matrix? Let me tell you, the hardest job I've ever had to do is being a mom. Hardest. And I've done some jobs. I've worked some places. I've even worked in fast food before. It wasn't like McDonald's. It was no shade to McDonald's, but it was Jimmy John's. I worked at Jimmy John's. I worked at Coney Island. Being a mom was the hardest job I've had thus far, okay? Okay. Step outside for a few minutes if you just need to breathe. Because sometimes a little bit of fresh air, me personally, if I can't step outside, because you may step outside and the kid just swinging off the ceiling fan. Like right now, I just cracked my window. Just that fresh air coming in. It just make you feel better. I can't explain it. If you know, you know. Take deep breaths. Step outside for a minute. Like I said, just close your eyes. Inhale, exhale. That help. Those little moments of silence that you can create for yourself. I promise you. You thinking like moment of silence, like what? It's gonna go a long way. Don't knock it till you try it. Okay, please. Step 2. This is my favorite. And I'm just now getting hip to this, but this is by far my favorite. From the 3 steps, number 2 is my favorite. Say no. 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 Can we? No. Say no. The answer is no, okay? The answer is no. I love it so much. And it's just like, you know what I love even more than saying no? Ooh. Even more than saying no is when they say, why? Because I said so. Because I said so. What drops mic? Because I said so. The answer is no, because I said so. You might not even you don't even have to wait for them to ask why. Just because I said so. No, because I said so. Please don't ask again. Ooh. Ooh. 8. Ate that right on up. Period. No. And like I said, being overstimulated is we doing too much. We're simply just doing too much at once, because being overstimulated is not always mental, it's physical too. Just say no and simplify the task you have. I was just on the phone with somebody and like, what you gotta do tomorrow? I had about 50 trillion things I had to do tomorrow. And once I really thought about it, this does not have to be done tomorrow. Like, for real. Relax. Savannah, chill. Seriously. And one question you can really ask yourself, do I really need to do this? Does this really have to be done today? I'm already doing 45 more things. Do I really need to do this 46th thing? If the answer is no, let it go. Woo. A word. Just giving yourself permission to say no. Just giving yourself grace. Giving yourself grace. Let me tell y'all. Our bodies, if we don't listen to nobody else or nothing else, listen to your body. Your body. Today, I could not get out the bed. I had to literally roll out the bed. Like, I just couldn't get out the bed. I felt so sleepy, so sluggish. Then I remember I worked like the last 4 or 5 days. I'm talking about 16, 12. So it's like I had to listen to my body, and I really had to just chill. Like, just chill. And I still got up and went to church, but it's like, listen to your body. Give yourself grace and say no. The answer is no. I don't owe you an explanation, especially not a little kid. I don't have to tell you why I'm not taking you to the park after you just was outside for 20 minutes and you kept running in and out the house, and I'm just not taking you because I said so. I'm not telling you why you can go in your room and watch TV and you don't have to sit under me because I said so. It's that simple. We put so much on ourselves as mothers. And then I know I get mom guilt so much too, because sometimes my baby will just be wanting to lay under me, and I just be like, Zen, just go in your room. And then she want to run by, all right, come back. And it's like, now I'm laid over her, we cuddling or whatever, and it's 4 or 5 things I could have done. Number one being, I could have just fucking relaxed. I could have literally just relaxed. Feet up, relax, watch Judge Judy for a minute. Stop the mom guilt. Start giving yourself grace, please. Number 3. Regulate your senses. We have to regulate it, because sometimes we just don't go. I feel like once you have a child, you TTG. You train to go. We got to start regulating our senses. We have to know, like I just said for step 2, we have to know when to just stop and be still. The number one thing I've actually been so in love with is slow mornings. A slow morning hate to see me coming. I'm getting out the bed in slow motion. Like, ooh. It's just something about not jumping up, scrambling. It's just something about just having that slow morning. And that's, you get a good night's sleep. You regulating your sleep. You regulating your water intake. You regulating everything. You get a good night's sleep. You wake up early, a little earlier than usual. Take the dog out. Get your daughter breakfast ready. Get her clothes out. Iron her clothes. One thing I've developed, and it's going to sound trifling because I guess people do it regularly, but I just start doing it. It's been on and off my whole life. I had to do it as a kid and a teenager, but now sometimes I just don't be having time. I'm getting up at the bitter end. I'm getting up with enough time to get up and hurry up and get ready for work. I don't always have time to make my bed up. So one thing I've been loving is actually having time to make my bed. I have time to make my bed. Regulate your senses. Get up with ease. Know when to just be still. Know when to just be cool. Know when to just flow. Just let everything flow. We do not always have to be so antsy. So that's our number one reason for being overstimulated is ourselves. Instead of being overstimulated, overworked, overwhelmed, be over it. You know, this is what's going to happen. This is what's not going to happen, because I don't feel like it. It's that simple. I am ready to decompress. I am ready to read a little bit of my book. I started my book club. It is going great. I'm ready to just bask in my feminine energy and just be still. That is what I'm on. And I wish the same for you. I also want to close by saying, no, don't close now. I want to close by saying doing your best is doing enough. Period. Doing your best